Claude just did it again. They launched the absolute best model for coding, at least till today, and that is the Opus 4.5 model. Currently, compared with the recent Gemini 3 Pro, along with the GPT 5.1, it is absolutely smashing them in the SWE benchmark. In this video, we're going to take a look at the benchmarks. Then I'm going to show some of the NextJS evaluations, Anthropic's article on the new release of Opus 4.5. Then we'll do a quick comparison, trying to recreate this page which was created using Gemini 3. And then we'll take a look at the recent X posts surrounding this particular model. And by the way, this is a quick overview since it's been like 2 hours since this model was launched. So if you think I should add or remove something from this checklist, please let me know down in the comment section. As for the benchmarks, let's take a look at each one of them side by side, just so you understand what they actually are. Because in my past videos, some people told me to actually test the model into like real life issues. Honestly, like 5-10 tests wouldn't be enough to actually evaluate the model, and that is why we have the SWE bench verified. This tests if AI can autonomously fix real GitHub issues from open source repos. And that's why this benchmark is kind of the holy grail to decide which is the best coding model. This matters because it measures real-world software engineering capability. Now let's move on to the agentic terminal coding. This benchmark is really important to measure how good a model is to perform these types of tasks. As you can see, it tried to execute some different commands here, and weak models in doing this would take a lot of time and a lot of tokens and a lot of context necessary to produce the correct command. So this is really important for whoever is either vibe coding or agentic coding, and Opus 4.5 is absolutely smashing at this as well. Then we have the T2 bench, which is the agentic tool use. This measures how well models can use multiple tools in sequence to complete complex multi-step tasks, important for evaluating AI agents that need to chain actions together. So pretty self-intuitive, is also really important for whoever's coding inside a platform like Claude Code, Cursor, or whatever. Now, the skilled tool use, or MCP Atlas. The MCP Atlas tests tool use at scale with the model context protocol. So I guess it's about how good the model is in using not only MCPs, but I'd say like Claude skills maybe comes in here. And apparently Claude is the only one really measuring this, since it's only measured in their own models, and it absolutely smashed the other models by like nearly 20% more. Speaking of which, the computer use also only measured from the Claude models. Let's take a look at what this benchmark actually does. So the OS world, or computer use, benchmarks AI controlling a full desktop environment. Clicking, typing, navigating apps, measures whether models can complete real computer tasks like a human would. At least for now, this isn't that useful for us, but as more tools like the anti-gravity from Google comes in, where you can actually have the LLM access your browser, then yeah, the more this will become really necessary. And I'd actually guess that if Gemini Pro tested this, it would have an even better percentage. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Now, as for the novel problem-solving ARC AGI2 verified, what this does is tests abstract reasoning on puzzles that the model has never seen, specifically designed to resist memorization. Requires genuine generalization and pattern recognition. So yeah, we can say this is basically an IQ test, and Claude could say it has the smartest model alive. But yeah, we checked the benchmarks. Now let's see how this model reacts inside of a Next.js build. So whoever is building full stack applications using Next.js will benefit from these evaluations. And we can check that both inside of the evals from nextjs.org/evals, and we can also run that project on our own computer and test any given model. The thing is, every time you run this, you might get a different result. Ideally, it will aim towards a specific range, so it won't go too far from 40%. Now, in this test from Next.js, the success rate was 40%. But in my own test, it was 42%, which is the same result that Google Gemini 3 Pro preview got, as well as the OpenAI GPT 5.1 codex. what you can notice here is that the average build success rate for this model was 68%. The linting was around 92%. Tests were at the limit of 62%, and the average duration was, it was around 3.95, at least for my tests where I used OpenRouter, but NextJS's eval got a different average duration, going all the way down to 7.73 seconds. And this is massive, not because the model is just suddenly faster at just processing tokens faster, but it takes less tokens to figure out the response for things. So for example, the Gemini 3.0 Pro preview thinks a lot and wastes basically 3 times the amount of tokens than Claude Opus 4.5. And this reduces a lot the costs as well as the average duration. By the way, we'll see more about that in the Anthropic article. So let's mark this off and head over to the introducing Claude Opus 4.5. What's really funny in this article is that they have a lot of reports over the Gemini 3 Pro, which is really recent, got a lot of attention, and Claude Opus 4.5 being able to launch this after them gives them a huge edge on just really comparing their model and showing, hey, our model is just better, and these are the reasons why. So we already took a look at the benchmarks, but all the way down here, they have an evaluation for concerning behavior. Basically, in our evaluation, concerning behavior scores measure a very wide range of misaligned behavior, including both cooperation with human misuse and undesirable actions that the model takes at its own initiative. So what Claude is basically trying to say here is that their model is safer. And then down here, they reinforce that with the susceptibility to prompt injection style attacks. Where compared with the other great models, Opus 4.5 thinking is just much, much safer. Now, there's this video down here that I really enjoyed, and I wish I'd built something similar so that I could test all the models in this same style. So Claude Opus 4.5 solves a puzzle game, and then they compare with Claude 4.5 and basically shows how Opus 4.5 is just smarter and wastes less tokens to finish a given task and then complete the entire game. Sonnet 4.5 context window is almost out, while Opus 4.5 is like nearly at 10%. So yeah, that was completed much faster and cheaper, and without wasting so much of the context window. So yeah, just by it being smarter, you gain so much from that. It's crazy. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to show from the Anthropic article. Now let's do a quick comparison. And this quick comparison is basically recreating this website using the same exact prompt that I used for Gemini 3 Pro, but now in the Opus 4.5. Oh, and by the way, that was created inside of Anti-Gravity. Now we'll create the test inside of Cursor or Claude. Let me see. I think we can build it inside of Claude. So skip permissions. Let's close this out a bit. So yeah, instead of Cursor, let's go with Claude. This will basically be a test between agents as well. Let me place the entire prompt in here. As you can see, it's using the Opus 4.5 model. Yeah, let's hit enter and see what it builds for us. Oh, and by the way, it just started. Let's start a stopwatch to track how long it takes to finish this up. I just remember that Claude has its own stopwatch here, but at the end, it doesn't show like the total time. So I guess we're good with our own stopwatch. And while this is running, let me share a thought that I had about this model, which is that I think that it might be that type of model that you activate whenever you need help in like debugging something, whenever you're stuck implementing something that another LM really couldn't handle. Then you'd kind of change over to Opus and use it to solve that. And this is really just a thought based on its pricing. It's much cheaper than like the previous Opus versions, and also because everyone is just saying how this model is actually being efficient at solving bugs that previous models just couldn't. Yeah, it's been nearly 9 minutes, taking much longer than I expected, probably because a lot of people is testing this model. But yeah, I generated almost 25,000 tokens, and I expect this to be like the ultimate landing page / dashboard and everything else that I inserted in that prompt. npm run dev. Let's see if we didn't get any mistake here. And by the way, this took 20 minutes to build. Got an error. probably because it's already running in here. I'm not sure how you can stop the task without having to ask Claude to stop the task. So stop the background task. If you know how to, please let me know down in the comment section. Okay, let's try to run it again. And this is the result. So just to be clear, this was the result from Gemini 3 Pro, and this is the result from Claude Opus 4.5. Honestly, yeah, I'm trying not to be biased here, but Opus 4.5 cooked. This looks much better. Let's take a look at the login page. Wow. Wow, this this is nice. Like, this is the login page from Gemini 3 Pro, and this one is from Claude Opus 4.5. Gemini 3 Pro, Opus 4.5. I mean, there's no doubt. Let's take a look at the pricing page. So this is Gemini 3 Pro. This is Claude Opus 4.5. Man, I was so sure that Gemini 3 Pro would have a better styling, but this is just much better. Even this logo up here, like, it actually picked up on a more similar logo to the one from Firecrawl. So Gemini Pro also generated a dashboard page. This is what it looks like, right? We get that toggle down. Let's see what Claude 4.5 Opus built for us as a dashboard. So /dashboard, this. Okay, this is so much better. I mean, there are no other pages for like scrape crawls and everything, but this just looks so much better. I mean, same prompt, it just worked better with what it had. As for the contact page, this is what we get from Opus 4.5, and this is what Gemini 3 Pro built. Okay, yeah, I'm convinced that Opus 4.5 is definitely better, at least, I mean, in design. Like, I don't like to compare it like that in one test. Like, the difference is so huge, so massive. Look at this. I mean, yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. What were your tests so that, like, we could get to the bottom of this. Actually, now it's time to take a look at the X posts. So I just searched Claude 4.5 Opus. Let's zoom in to take a look at what people are saying. Okay, there's a Claude post about the Opus 4.5. Then GitHub also launched it in its own platform. Claude 4.5 Opus crushes Arc AGI and scores 37.6%. So this is another benchmark where Claude Opus 4.5 just crushed. Then we have this game, which someone apparently just created. And it seems like comparing with Gemini 3 Pro as well, it didn't have such a good result. Okay, yeah, there's this guy commenting about the benchmarks as well. Then again about the pricing, because I mean, the pricing for Opus model is now much better. This guy seems like he created a way to run Python scripts in the browser of some sort. Lovable announced Claude Opus 4.5 in its own platform. This person right here apparently had early access to Claude 4.5 Opus. Her take on this was that it pulled her slightly back to Claude Code, though there are too many good fast developer models to pick just one. Solid little independent operator, still prone to most annoying Claude-ism, making grand statements of certainty when it's definitely made up something. Happened over several tasks. Okay, I mean, overall, a positive feedback. Okay, this was an interesting test. It asked both Claude Opus 4.5 as well as Gemini 3 Pro to create a unicorn, and this was something created by Opus 4.5. I don't remember the exact name of this style of creation, but you kind of create it with like geometry and everything. Yeah, I mean, they kind of aimed for different styles. I guess like they both win. So this guy aimed to create a 3D rendering of the Golden Gate Bridge with both models. This is the Opus 4.5. That's what it generated. Pretty interesting. And then Gemini 3 Pro. I mean, I think I prefer Gemini 3 Pro for this. Yeah, no, I definitely prefer Gemini 3 for this test right here. Yet again, another person attempted to create the Golden Gate Bridge with Claude Opus 4.5, and it looks much better. I mean, maybe they worked a bit more on this, but yeah, it's looking much better. So yeah, there's still not a lot of testing because it's just been like a couple hours since the model was launched. But yeah, let's see along the next few days how people react to this model. Again, feel free to use the comment section to share your own experience with Claude Opus 4.5. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.